Hi, you guys. So I'm so excited to be here with this woman today. Tata Harper has graced her presence here at Citrine, and we're really excited. She's going to be leading us through a masterclass today. And beforehand, we're filming this video for you guys to kind of ask her some of the questions that you guys were asking us on Instagram that you'd like to know more about. So thank you so much for being here, Tata.
You're welcome. I really love coming here and supporting you. I think that I came here for the first time when you had like the tiny store and you had just opened. So it's like so great to come back every year and then just see you like expanding and doing so well. It makes me happy.
Thank you so much. Your support means a lot to me.
Oh, thank you.
So you also have had so much growth in the last few years, which has been crazy. This industry has really grown, and your brand in particular, I feel like, has had so much success. So walk us through a little bit about the evolution of the brand from like where you started to where you are today.
Yeah, so this is my 9th year. So next year is our 10-year anniversary, which is like so exciting. I can't believe it that we're actually going to be 10 years old. You know, when I launched the brand, first of all, I never thought that I would become a beauty entrepreneur. Like it was never like a dream or something that you're like, oh my God, I really want to be in beauty and this is something that I'm going to make happen. It never really happened like that, and when I decided to do it, just because I realized that a lot of like the natural beauty products that were in the market were catering to more of a minimalistic, simple customer. You know, like the single active formulas, you know, there wasn't a lot of technology. You couldn't expect a lot out of the products. It's like it was really hard for someone that wants to have more healthy choices actually make that switch when you are actually a maximalist and you love intense products, concentrated formulas, hardworking technology. And I was like, I can't believe that there's nothing for a girl like me, you know, and I became obsessed of making this happen. And I had no plans. I had no idea how big, how small this was going to be. I was just really focused on making it happen. You know how we were talking earlier that how did I survive the baby years of my 3 kids?
I don't know.
I have no idea how I survived or how, you know, like the beginning of the company is such a blur to me because I was like on this fast train, obsessed journey. And I was just like relentless and I was not going to stop until I like made it happen. So it took 5 years to create the brand, the formulas, also set up our manufacturing facilities at the farm where I was living at the time because my farm was a dairy farm. So I had a lot of barns and I had a lot of space to create our own factories because I didn't want to subcontract the products. Like it's very typical in beauty to subcontract everything. And I'm an engineer and the idea of subcontracting, especially the making of your products, like wow, the most important part of your business, like the formulas and the making of the formulas, I can't subcontract that out to subcontractor to make the goop, then another subcontractor to fill the goop in the bottles, then the packager, then the distributors. Like I was like, what am I gonna do? Like sales and marketing all day? Like I don't want to have an advertising agency. I want to have like a real skincare company. So I decided that we were not gonna go the typical route, that we were not going to be just using bases from labs and then adding one ingredient from Colombia because I'm Colombian and it needs to be all about me and where I'm from. You know how it goes. Like a lot of these labs try to like craft like your marketing stories, which I found so funny. And I'm like, no, this is not about that. That's not why I'm starting this line. Like I'm prepared to do everything. So it was hard because it's like, you know, you hire a lot of consultants and these experts to show you how to do things and like what are the best practices, how to get up and running in 6 months. And then all of a sudden, every advice that they're giving you, you're like not agreeing with it. And you're like, this is exactly what I don't want to do. So thank you for showing me everything that I don't want to do because now I'm clear on how I want to do it, which is actually an advice that I have for a lot of people that are starting their own businesses. Sometimes experts are great to show you how things are done, and that's why they're experts, because they're experts in telling you exactly how to do it. If you want to do it quick, if you want to do it efficient, if you don't want to invest a lot of money when you start. But what about if you want to do something new and something innovative?
Yes.
Those experts sometimes are useless, actually, because you want to do something totally different. So, and it's so hard because it's like a lot of the advice that you're paying for all of a sudden goes against like your, you know, like your gut feeling, and you're like, this is so hard. Like, I don't want to do anything that they're telling me to do. But those are the things that an entrepreneur with a vision, you have to stick to. And you're going to be like, no, I actually reject all of this, not because there's anything wrong. It's just like, I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to create a product that was completely new in its formulation. Also, this idea of revolving formulas around just one active, I was like, why one active? Like, I don't want to make like lousy products. I want to make like super concentrated formulas so that it's like supplements. Like, you can buy like your vitamin C, your vitamin B, your vitamin D. But what about it? Like, instead of buying all of that, you just get like an amazing multivitamin that it's all in one. And then the same applies to skincare. You can go into like a skincare diet, and then you don't have to be buying so many things because you have something that works really, really hard for you.
Yeah.
And then I also felt really uncomfortable in subcontracting the production, because then it means that I'm making basically my products and the quantities of my products based on whatever works to a third-party subcontractor that makes my line and then 80 other lines. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna warehouse 1,000 serums and 1,000 cleansers and 1,000 of everything. And you're like, wow, it's, you know, by the time that it goes from one subcontractor to the other subcontractor to the other subcontractor, and then it gets to stores, I was like, I want products to be super fresh when they get to my clients. So there's a lot of formulas that can't sustain all of that, but for us, I was like, I want it to be super farm fresh. So that's why we also make it in our farm, because I also think that nowadays, it's like, aside from making amazing products, you also need to design amazing ways of creating your products that are more responsible, that involve less carbon footprint, that are more transparent, that are all, you know, and that there's better, you know, ownership of the brand as to what they're selling to their clients. It's like, I remember, like, I've been a obsessive like beauty customer all my life. I'm Colombian, you know, Latin women love beauty products. And I always had this fantasy in my head when I used to buy all my Swiss skincare line, which I used to use before I had Tata Harper, that it came from the Swiss Alps, you know, that it's made over there. And then you realize that a lot of that, you know, you go behind the curtain, you're like, oh no, this is not really happening like this. And I really wanted to keep that fantasy alive. So that's kind of like how it started, and the reality is that the products are so well made that it's like they speak for themselves. A lot of people ask me like, Tata, what do you do? How do you do it? Who do you pay? Like, I don't pay anyone. I actually just make amazing products that are also not just like another serum or another cleanser, because I honestly believe that we just don't need more products. Like, what we need are products that make people's lives better, that people enjoy using, and that overall it just helps elevate your quality of life. And I think that that's what we deliver, and that's why people just keep buying our products, because they love them.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you followed your gut and you went this way, because I just do. I think that there's such a difference with your products, the quality, the freshness, everything. And I think that that's why so many people are really flocking to it in this industry. And I think that's also why you have really skyrocketed your success too. And so that kind of goes into my next question. So you are super busy. You're a mom. You're an entrepreneur.
Three kids. And the 3 kids were born while I was starting the company.
I know. I can't believe talking. I cannot believe that. Like, I
cannot believe it either, by the way.
You're like, well, you know.
Well, how did that happen?
Yes. But so you're so busy. You wear so many different hats. You know, so what does your day look like? You know, like, how do you keep organized? How do you keep motivated?
So I keep motivated by what I do, honestly. Like
Yeah.
what I do keeps me super motivated. I really loved, more than I expected, to be a beauty entrepreneur. I am really addicted to this like interaction with clients and also making products that people love.
Yes.
And that people see such a difference in their skin, and that there's so many stories out there that keep me motivated. Not only me, but really like my whole team. So I keep motivated just with what I'm doing and how, and also proving that something that everybody thought that was impossible when I started, that you can actually prove that no, you can actually do it. And all of those barriers that you told me were there are more cultural and psychological than technological and feasible. You know, there's no
Yes.
feasibility issue. Like you just need to design a company so that it operates that way. So the fact that you are able to prove with your business that, number one, there's a clientele for it, because
Right.
you know, before, like, natural beauty has always been very simple. So launching a product for the first time in the luxury space, everybody's like, forget it, no one is going to buy it, no one believes in naturals perform. So you know, you prove them wrong. You're like,
Yes,
no,
which
when you actually
check,
make
you did.
when you actually make something that it's high quality and that works really hard and that includes global technology, people actually see the results.
Yes.
Right? Then number two, a lot of people thought that, number one, that the formulations were impossible, that making the products was too hard. And then you prove that no, that actually you can have a scalable, profitable business that employs a lot of people around the world, that have a clientele for around the world, and that you can actually make it happen. You just need to decide that you want to do that.
Yes.
It's actually that it's also very inspiring for me too, because it's like you can prove that it's actually feasible. Because a lot of times people think that sustainability and that incorporating a lot of these things for like the next generation and the way to do business in the future are just things that sound really nice, but that are actually not achievable. And then you're actually, no, they are achievable. You can do it. You can have profits. You can have a really good business, stable employment for a lot of different people that love what, you know, what you stand for, and that it's completely doable.
Yeah.
In the terms of like busyness and how I get organized, you know, it's really hard. I have to admit, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And something that I do have to say for people that are really busy, but that also have a family and that want to spend quality time and be there for them in all the important times of their lives, is that you need to spend time organizing your time. A lot of times people think that things are just going to fall in place magically. No, you need to actually plan for it. Like I have an amazing assistant called Chelsea, and she really, like, I don't know what I would do without her. Like she
Right.
keeps me organized. We actually have a matrix of like my weekly meetings, my bi-weekly meetings, my monthly meetings, my quarterly meetings, my meetings that just happen once a year, and then she makes sure that I have those meetings, and that also there's enough time for when the teams for like my wholesale team or my direct team need me for content or for traveling to stores and doing
Yes.
beauty classes, that there is enough time so I can travel, I can do all those things, and that also we can plan ahead so that I can block off the times when it's like my kids' birthdays, my kids' parents' conferences, my kid, you know, I have my boy plays hockey, so I want to be there for his tournament. So it's like really balancing all of that, and it really, for me at least, it happens by being super organized, which doesn't leave a lot of room for spontaneous behavior. Sometimes, you know, in the weekends I am zero planned. Like in my personal life, like I just want to know that I'm there, but I'm not the type that I plan like my personal time like with this sort of like
Sure,
rigor.
yes, yeah.
But if not, like I could be working 24/7, you
Right.
know, like if you don't organize and you don't plan, like I could be traveling all year, working 24/7, never see my family, and then that's when things get out of balance. So it's really like you need to find, and then finding good help, because no one can do anything alone. So
Right.
my mom helps me. I have people at home that help me with my kids, my team. As we grow, you know, I delegate a lot of responsibilities to my team, and I trust them that they're doing what, you know, what it's the best. So because, you know, like my role as the CEO of the company as we've grown has changed so much. Like what I did at the beginning of the company has nothing to do with what I do now. Like I've always focused on supporting the teams that need help at the moment. You know, there's some teams that are like bye, we don't want to see you around. You know? And then there's some teams that are like, no, Tata, we do need your input in all these things. So I try to dedicate time to them too, by being organized. So that's really how you make it happen. And then having a lot of energy, taking care of yourself so that you can actually have energy to travel, to do all the stuff that you need to do. Because a lot of people ask me like, Tata, how you do it? You travel, like your skin always looks great, like it's your products. And while yeah, our products are fabulous, it's like you also, products are just like a piece of a big puzzle.
Right.
Like if you don't sleep, if you don't exercise, if you're stressed all day long, it doesn't really matter what you use, honestly. So it's like skincare is an important part of the puzzle, but you also need to eat well, drink water. A lot of the things that we all hear that sound such a cliche, but honestly, they are so important. They're so important. Like I am like psycho about like the hours that I sleep, drinking the amount of water that I need to drink, exercising whenever I can, even if it's 30 minutes of just squats, push-ups and abs, do it like before I came here. Like I'm not going to the gym, but at least I did a couple rounds of squat, I did some abs, and then you feel strong, you feel healthy. Totally. So it's just like that, guys.
Yeah, it's important. Like all those things are so important. I'm totally with you. And I love personally following you like on Instagram because I think that you're so like you're always up on like the latest and greatest like wellness trends. So what's one wellness trend that you're like really enjoying at the moment?
I am actually really enjoying, to my surprise, intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Like I thought that I was not gonna be able to do it because I am someone that when I'm hungry, I get like really like hangry, like I get grouchy, like people are like, please eat, like you are not, at your best right now.
Sure.
But I've been at least trying to do 14 to 16 hours because the benefits of fasting, I don't do it to lose weight because I am lucky that I have never had that issue. My issues are others, but it's really good. The studies around longevity that come with intermittent fasting about how it's the most effective way of detoxifying your body of toxins and also making your genes communicate better and your cells communicate better and don't lose a lot of like that epigenetic information that you lose with time. So I think that has been like really amazing. I've lost some weight, I do have to say, but I've been able to manage it. And the way that I do it, I've been doing the 14 hours is what I try to do more consistently. Obviously, if it's the weekend and I'm not like around people like all the time and I have more flexibility, I do 16, sometimes 18, but 14 is like I typically have like my dinner with the kids like around 6:45, 7, like right at the end of my day, and then I would have lunch I have breakfast at 9:45. So I don't skip any meals. I have breakfast at 9:45. I'm having lunch around like 1:30, and then I'm having dinner around 6:45. I just try to compress it all together.
Yeah. We actually had somebody else here. We had Sarah from Osmia, and she's a doctor, and she was really talking a lot about intermittent fasting when she was here too. And I think it's super fascinating, something that I want to try too. So that's cool.
Yeah, and I actually I don't get grouchy, and I actually get a lot of energy from it. Yeah, but you really can't have anything but water. You can have coffee and ghee in your coffee, but that's it. But if not, you really break. It's not about not eating foods. It's like about not eating anything. Like really putting your body through this starvation period. But it's been good. I've actually been enjoying it more than I thought.
That's super cool. So, okay, now getting back to a little bit more about the products. I want to talk about Supernaturals because when I first started with you, which has been 5 years now, Supernaturals were kind of...
Feels like it's more, no?
I know.
It's only 5 years. Like, I can't believe it.
I know.
Feels like
crazy.
An eternity.
I know. A lot has happened in 5 years.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, now you've reformulated and relaunched the Supernaturals. So maybe fill us in a little bit about why you wanted to do that and then what is different about them. Which I know, but tell them because they're amazing, you guys.
Yeah. So basically, just to start, the Supernatural collection is 3 duos. It's a duo for brightening, it's a duo for lifting and firming, and there's a duo for like our most potent wrinkle reducer that actually gives you like the same results as injectables, you know, like the two things for which people get injectables, which is like the filling effect and the voluminizing effect. Obviously, these are topical results that are not as aggressive as when you get injectables, but when you use them on a daily basis, it's like your daily dose, so that people do them less often if you do injectables. So that's the Elixir Vitae collection. And I really wanted to make that because I have some clients that want really targeted results.
Yes.
And my green line, like what we call the green line, like the green products, like they're super potent, they're amazing. I mean, compared with like single active formulations, like, you know, like the rejuvenating serum has 29 actives. But then there were some people that are like, Tata, but I need something for hyperpigmentation, or I need something more potent for lifting and firming, or I want something more aggressive for my wrinkles. And that's where the Supernatural collections come in. All of the serums are based on the rejuvenating serum, by the way. So if you have the Supernatural collection, you don't need to buy the rejuvenating serum because everything in the rejuvenating serum is in it. What we did is that we added more. So when I launched that collection, it was back in 2013. And right, like so much time has gone by, and the technology of natural like biotech has really exploded since then. And I was just really eager to incorporate all the new and the latest and greatest. So I've been working on this collection for over 3 years, the upgrade, because it was kind of like a bit antiquated, and we're always tweaking our formulas in the background, not to make them cheaper, but always to like update them. So we never call them reformulations, but more like technology updates, because that's really what's happening. And I really wanted to do a massive upgrade in the Supernaturals, just because specifically like the technology around like the neuropeptides that are like the wrinkle relaxing ingredients have like exploded, and there's so much options now. Also, the technology of voluminizing and skin density has also, it's in another level from when I launched it. Also, like when I launched like the boosted contouring line, a lot of the firming and lifting ingredients revolved around, like mainly like topical, like those spandex, like those Spanx sort of like products, the ingredients that kind of like create a film, but they were not structural. Now there's this whole technology around giving energy to your cells and kind of like power boosting the mitochondria inside of your cells, so that the lift comes from a cellular level. And also the technology of hyperpigmentation has taken leaps and bounds. So it's just like, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, because we buy so much technology from all over the world, and we typically buy like the super expensive technologies coming out of the labs globally. We always get privy to all this newness, and I was just like really eager to put them somewhere, and I was just like, guys, this needs to happen. So it took a really long time because the concentration of actives is really unprecedented. Like Elixir Vitae ended up with 72 actives, which is really insane. I mean, big kudos to my lab, because I don't know even how we were able to make that happen. Even to add like 10 actives into a formula is complicated. Now adding 72. So we also added like the new emulsification systems, new preservation systems, new everything. So it really represents the latest in anti-aging technology globally. Sure. In one product. And also we took an opportunity to also make the packaging more sustainable, because before it came in the airless packaging, which, that Italian packaging is the only glass airless packaging in the world, because, in skincare, most of the packaging and the innovation around packaging mainly happens in plastics and in acrylics. So when you want to do something in glass, which for the beauty industry is typically just for fragrance, you have to do a custom, because that's what we do, because you can't find anything. So it required a big investment to do custom for Supernaturals, which we did out of Korea, and also incorporate like the new organic inks and decorations. And then all of the boxes are also made with bamboo fibers. Like all the interior trays are made with paper pulp from bamboo, so it's super sustainable. And we've been working really closely with a lot of our suppliers to really like make that happen, because it's like until they don't find a customer for it, like a lot of these technologies don't get developed. Sure. So it's really exciting to develop it with them. I mean, it's expensive to make all that stuff sustainable, but I think that it's really important, especially in our sector, which is the luxury sector. which I hate that word, by the way, but you know, like for me, luxury, which historically has always meant like excess, more, but for me, luxury means like it's really high quality, it's made by hand, it has a lot of ingredients, and it also gives my customers an opportunity to be sustainable.
Sure.
Because if you don't give customers an opportunity to be sustainable, then how are we all going to start getting more sustainable? It's like everybody's like putting the pressure on the customer, like, be sustainable, don't do this, don't buy plastic. But if all the options are made out of plastic, then what do you do? So, and especially in our sector, like there's not a lot of opportunities to be sustainable. And I think that for me, that's like super, super important. So we invested in all these things just so that we can have a more sustainable options.
Yeah, and you guys, just because she's saying sustainable, when you get this box and you open it up, it's the most luxurious thing you've ever seen. So
yeah,
kudos,
but exactly. But it's like
so
the
beautiful.
perfect thing that form meets function. Like now you can actually make it happen. It's just like obviously it costs more.
Sure.
Sorry, but it costs more to be sustainable in everything. Natural ingredients, you know, like glass bottles. Glass is infinitely recyclable. Plastic you can only recycle a number of times and then end up in the landfill or end up making other products like upcycle. But eventually those products, even if you upcycle, they're going to end up in the landfill at some point. Well, glass, it can always be melted down to glass and
Sure.
could always be used, which is why we stick to glass. Which is you know, it's nice to make all of those decisions. We really try to incorporate sustainability in almost everything that we do, honestly.
Yeah, which is so awesome. It's great. And now I have one more question for you. So, and I know this is like picking a child, but if you were leaving the house for a lengthy period of time, and you could only bring one product in your entire
Beauty product.
One product in your collection.
Elixir Vitae serum, for sure.
She was without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's a hard question because I love so many of them and I use them in a daily basis.
Sure.
But Elixir is like my desert island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I need that serum daily. When I don't use it, I notice the difference for a period of time that I don't use it. I'm like, oh, I need that.
It's your love, you know.
Yeah.
I have your boosted eye around my eyes. I know if I don't use that, I like notice a difference. So that's like, in case
Yours.
you were wondering, that's mine. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that one so much. So.
I travel with that one in my
because
purse.
it's so good with the hydration. I just love that one.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for inviting me. This was
super
so fun.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.
Bye.